As you can see, guys, the price is not listed. I'll leave the link for the price in the YouTube description area when it's announced. And I don't think so Motorola is going to be very aggressive in pricing in India. Let's see, because in US this one actually starts at $250 and it's powered by the Snapdragon 450 SoC. So it'll be interesting to see how they price this in India. And this review unit, as you can see, is we are having the higher end variant that comes with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. And if you look at the back, it says that it's having a full HD plus screen, and that's a 5.7 inch screen, and it's having a 1.8 GHz octa-core processor. It's a Snapdragon 450 SoC, and it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, but it has the turbo power charging. And this is an interesting thing. This is specifically for Asia Pacific region and India also. We are getting a 16 megapixel front facing camera. In other regions, actually, you get an 8 megapixel front facing camera. And again, rear facing camera is the dual camera setup. So let's quickly open this up and let's have a look. And here is the handset itself. And now we're getting this in this glass back, so the build quality and looks have improved quite a bit if you compare it with earlier Moto G series devices, and it's having that 18:9 screen aspect ratio, as you can see. Now the back is also glass. This actually from back it resembles the Moto X4. Let's see what else do we get in the box. So this just comes out like this. You get the SIM ejector tool, some warranty info and user guide, and it's in Hindi also. And nice to see that they are giving us this power brick, which I think so is a fast charger. So yeah, so as you can see, this is indeed a fast charger. It can output at 5 volts at 3 amps or 9 volts at 1.6 amps. So definitely a fast charger, and also it has support for 12 volts. So getting a fast charger in the box, and we also get a headset in this. But one thing I'm surprised is that they're not bundling a back case, because in some other regions they are actually bundling a back case with this one. So you don't get that back case in this Indian variant, which is actually surprising, because with these glass backs, it's a good idea to have that casing. Anyways, you get these in-ear style earphones, and they are Motorola branded. So nice to see we are getting in-ear, and it also has that flat type cable and a button and a microphone here, so you can take calls, skip tracks and stuff like that. And you also get some extra ear tips with this. I'll keep that to the side. And obviously you get the USB Type-C cable also, which is bundled. Again, for fast charging, it's advisable to use this one, because low quality cables, then fast charging won't be that good. So let me keep these things to the side and let's look at the handset itself. So here is the phone itself. Let me give you a physical overview first. And we have a secondary noise cancellation microphone. Here we have the SIM tray. Let's look at it. I think so it'll be dual SIM hybrid, but let's have a look at it. No, we are getting a dedicated micro SD card slot. So that's a nice thing. So you can put 2 nano SIMs and a dedicated micro SD card slot. So nice to see that Motorola went with this option. And let's just put this back. Again, as I'm telling you, the build quality has improved a lot if we compare it with earlier Moto G series devices. This is close to the X series in terms of design. And here we have the power on off button, gives a good tactile feel, and we also have the power on off button, which has a slight pattern, so you can easily just feel it. And on the bottom, USB Type-C port, 3.5mm headphone jack. There is also another microphone over here for noise cancellation, and this end is actually empty. Moving towards the back, we have the dual camera setup, 12 megapixel and 5 megapixel, and we have the Motorola branding over here. So sadly no Motorola dimple on this because of the glass back. And we have the fingerprint scanner here at the bottom, and we have the Motorola. I'll just set this up. In the meantime, let me give you a configuration overview. This Moto G6 is having a 5.7-inch IPS LCD screen and the 18:9 aspect ratio. It's protected by Gorilla Glass 3. It's powered by the Snapdragon 450 processor, which is an octa-core processor. It comes with the Adreno 506 GPU. It comes in two variants. 3GB of RAM comes with 32GB of internal storage, and 4GB of RAM model comes with 64GB of internal storage. Moving to the camera, the rear-facing camera has a dual camera setup. The main camera is a 12 megapixel with f1.8 lens, and the secondary camera, that's a 5 megapixel, is used for depth sensing. Moving to the front facing camera, it is having a 16 megapixel front facing camera, and it is having a 3000 milliamp hour battery. So guys, I've just finished setting up this device, and it already started downloading a few stuff. As you can see, it's installing some stuff over here. And again, as it's a Motorola device, mostly stock Android experience that you're going to get on this one, that's the same. As you can see, you get the app tray, and it also has that FM radio functionality that you get with this one. And if you just go back, on the left we have the Google Pay, and I didn't add my Google account, so if you add, you get Google Now and all those things, typical Motorola stuff. And if you go over here, and if you go to the settings, and if you go to system, and if we go to about the phone, as you can see, it's still running on the Android version 8.0. I expected that it will be coming with 8.1, but still on Android 8. And regarding Android updates, Motorola clearly said that only one major Android update it will get, so that is one thing. And also regarding Android security patches, don't expect to Motorola to give Android security updates every month. That's a sad thing, but yeah, that's what it is. And if you go to let's just go back, and if you look at the storage, this is a 64GB variant, and roughly you're going to get about let's say 55 to 56 GBs of space free that is available to you. But again, as this one also has a dedicated SD card slot, storage should not be a problem. And again, almost stock Android experience apart from Motorola's almost every Moto phone, so you do get that, so you can customize a few things. Apart from that, it's almost stock Android experience. Let's look at the fingerprint scanner. It's here at the bottom, and if you tap in, yes, it is responsive. Let's try again. Gives you actually haptic feedback when you just click on it, and then it unlocks. So it's taking about half a second, not the quickest. Gives you the haptic feedback, and then actually it unlocks. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Motorola prices this one. What do you think should be the pricing of this one? Snapdragon 450 SoC. Yes, the build quality is really good, but for a phone that is having a Snapdragon 450 SoC, what should be the pricing? Let me know in the YouTube comment section below. In terms of looks, definitely I would say it looks very premium, closer to the Moto X4, as I've told you from the back actually. And yeah, styling wise it's good, but that glass back is there, so you have to be careful. And sadly they're not in bundling that case inside in India, so if you're going to buy this, buy that case for protection. Yes, it has Gorilla Glass 3, but still I would say glass even at the back can be a thing. And let's now look at the camera, because this has the dual camera setup and that 16 megapixel selfie thing. So let's look at it. So you have the tap to focus, but again by default it raises. As you can see, I use the tap to focus. Exposure, it's just messing up the exposure, so you have to manually adjust the exposure if you're going to use the tap to focus functionality. But yeah, and the focusing, yeah, it's taking about a half a second to focus, but it did focus. You got that background blur also with this one, and it employs that what do you say, dual camera setup. So you have that portrait mode over here. Let's just go with that, and that depth mode and all those things. So as you can see, I'm just going to adjust this, and you can adjust the background blur how much you want, increase it. I'll put it at max. Take this photograph, and the processing speed is fast even if you use that dual camera setup. In last generation Moto devices, for example Moto G5s, it was actually pretty slow, but this is doing a better job in that one. Let me take one more snap here. I'll put this in focus.